I'm in Thailand. Now, it's a country of many cultures, many faces, but what I am here to experience are two new motorcycles, the Yamaha R3, the MT-03. You already know these are coming to India, but exactly how much fun can they be? That's the only thing I'm going to be finding out. Hi, my name is Dhruv Paliwal. You're watching autoX. Let's get started. Now, design now, that's really subjective, but me, I have to start with what I love, and that's the MT-03, and that's predominantly because I love a naked motorcycle, a street fighter, something that just looks like it wants to go into gaps. And the MT over here, it's sleek, it's sharp, it looks cutting edge, and it just looks like it's the hooligan in traffic that wants to make every gap. Kind of goes with my riding philosophy also. But I think overall the MT has the more sharper, more sleeker look. The R3 on the other hand, I mean, an all-out sport bike look. The fairing, it looks a little bit bulky, but the one part I do think that look a little bit iffy are the headlights. A little bit more rounded than what I would have preferred. The MT's sleek lights, I mean, they are a benchmark of what I was expecting, but that doesn't really take away from how these bikes look. On their own, they are beautiful machines. And I want you to tell me which one of these two do you like more when it comes to the looks. As far as features go, these bikes don't really get a lot of them, but they do get the basics, the right stuff, the stuff that defines what a motorcycle should be. So you've got a basic instrument cluster, gives you all the information, really easy to read. There's a kill switch, there's not a lot of buttons that you have to work around. You don't have to figure out stuff when you're getting on the motorcycle. Everything is pretty much easy, ready to go, ready to ride. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna go and do now. I've hopped onto the MT first to tell you how it feels to ride. First off, I already made it very abundant on this channel many times that I am a big fan of street fighters, of naked motorcycles, and the MT-03 fits that bill to the T. I mean, it's so comfortable. We've been riding for the past 3 days in Thailand, and I mean, we've been covering a good number of kilometers every day, both on the R3 and the MT-03, but never once have I ever really regretted getting into the saddle of the MT-03. This bike marries comfort and performance like no other. I will definitely say this, that has to be the standout, that has to be the highlight of the MT-03. It's simply ridiculous that you can carry such good pace on a motorcycle and still not really feel any major discomfort when you get off the bike after the end of a long day's ride. Now, both the R3 and the MT-03 have a 321cc parallel twin engine. Makes about 40 bhp, 30 newton meters of torque, and I just love how the torque is delivered. And you scream towards the red line. The engine, oh my god, I think it's the real party piece of this motorcycle. I mean, yeah, you just get on the motorcycle and ride. No need to set it up, no need to dial the power up or down, no need for a quick shifter, honestly. First day, around 300 kilometers we did. I probably used the clutch 3 times, and that was also just to start the motorcycle off from a stop. Upshift, downshifts, you can just not use your clutch and make them happen like this. Smooth, amazing, man. I mean, can't really describe this feeling. How this engine just opens up to your whims and fancies. And it's not scary, like something like a 390 Duke. Okay, a 390 Duke is probably not scary for me anymore, having ridden so many motorcycles by now. But it's definitely surprising. The R3 is not surprising. The MT-03, it's not surprising in the way the engine builds the power. It's engaging.
Every time you open the throttle, it just makes you wish that the red line never came. Perfect opportunity for me to show you how this engine just loves to sing. The gearbox, right, so I think the bikes have been geared really well. You don't really see a massive jump in power or a very little gap between ratios. I think they've been perfectly geared. The gearbox, I mean the ratios aside, it's a gem of a unit to use. As I said, there's no quick shifter on this or the MT-03 or the R3, and still this thing, I mean, just see how smooth those clutchless shifts are. Imagine that you can hard brake into a corner, shift down without using your clutch, and not worry about hurting the motorcycle at all. It's just also smooth. The gears, they lock into place, they snap into place so well. The pairing, the Yamaha, the gearbox and the engine, I mean, the way they've paired these two up here is, I think, really what sets up the experience of the MT-03, the experience of the R3. It's out in the twisties where you really understand, really feel how good of a friend this gearbox is to this engine. I think for someone like me, this is the perfect combination, and it's the kind of powertrain that likes to be ridden flat out. So what we're doing right now is not really what it loves doing, but it's doing it effortlessly. I mean, the city grind. Yes, these bikes can do highways really well. Yes, these bikes can do twisties really well. But the thing is, these bikes also we need to be doing the city commute really well, because at the end of the day, they're just above 300cc. No one's going to buy them just to use them on the track. No one's going to buy them just to do touring. These have to be workhorses. These have to take on the everyday grind. It's not always about banging gears and going fast. Sometimes it's about sneaking through gaps and making time in traffic and not taking a toll on the rider while doing so. Now let's come to the brakes for a second. So the bite comes in pretty early on, but it's gradual in the way it comes in, and if you want a bit of urgency, just hasten a bit. Just put a little bit of that extra pressure on the lever and you just have all the bite you need. I mean, you've got so much good feedback that trail braking into corners, it gets super easy. Getting last on the brakes, getting on the brakes really late gets super easy. If you really have to dead brake anywhere, where it has happened a couple of times on this ride where the person in front of me braked really hard, we had to make a turn or something, and I had to really get on the brakes, and I mean, just amazing. I also want to talk about highway stability. We've been doing some good speeds on these roads, highways. This motorcycle on the highway, it can eat up miles, high triple digit speeds. It can cruise on them all day long. Now, one small thing about this engine, I think the MT is showing a set of corners, man. It loves corners. Oh my god, look at the view. I don't want to go back, I'll be really honest. I mean, just look where you want to go when these motorcycles point themselves. Super amazing. One thing, for the roads in Thailand, I mean, by the end of the day, we'll have probably ridden around 800-900 kilometers. And the roads in Thailand, I'm yet to encounter a speed breaker, so that's a big plus. The suspension on the MT has been soaking it all up beautifully. The rear is just on the beginning of the stiff side, nothing uncomfortable, just keeps you connected to the road. I mean, the amount of feedback this motorcycle sends back to you gives you the confidence to change lines in the middle of a corner, gives you the confidence to try new stuff. And I mean, simply glorious. Oh my god, this has to be one of the best rides of my life. I think it's time I get on the R3 and I tell you about that. Oh, my visor's fogged up, just give me one sec. customary R3 start. God, give it the beans. So now we already talked about the engine on this motorcycle, right? What I want to talk to you about is the fact that on the R3, I feel a little bit more vibes on the handlebars, on the pegs. Nothing bothersome. The MT was a lot smoother, didn't really feel a lot of that, but we were in full riding gear, so that also makes a difference. But the thing is, I think the R3 adds to the drama of the R3. The MT has no drama that way. Its drama isn't all the way it looks. The R3 brings the drama in how it rides. I think on the R3 you like to open it up a little bit more, especially in the corners. Get out of them. I mean, let's come right down to it. Sloppy downshift. The biggest difference is how you sit on these two motorcycles. The R3 has you committed. You back in your seat, lean forward, and a little bit more outer than the R3, and the foot peg positioning is not a lot different. I mean, it feels high set. The R3 is comfortable, but the thing is, the first day when we were riding, after half a day of riding the MT, I switched to the R3, and I could immediately say that the R3 definitely does take a little bit of a toll on your lower back. Now, I'm a young man, just 30, but those of you who might not identify with that persona, let's just say the R3 is going to be a little bit demanding, a little bit taxing, but and it's a big but, when you get something right, like a corner, it's very, very rewarding as well. The satisfaction of when you got a corner right is just another level on the R3. Suspension wise, I mentioned on the MT also, both these motorcycles are pretty sorted. There's no fancy stuff, no adjustable forks, no nothing like that, but still the stock setting that you get just works everywhere. I mean, the roads in Thailand are beautiful, but there's a few bumps here and there, but none that will unsettle you. None that have unsettled me over the last few days. I mean, it's just been, you go flat out over anything you see if you dare. Oh man, I love this motorcycle. It is truly one of the last remaining old school motorcycles, I can say, in the low displacement category, because everyone's running after features now, but Yamaha's not doing that. What they want is riding pleasure, and I have acres of it to speak about. In fact, words cannot describe the combination of these bikes and these roads.
Alright, it's been a fun few days. Been riding the R3, I've been riding the MT-03. Thailand has been beautiful. We had an immense time. Rode these on the highway, in the city, in the twisties, and even a bit of off-road. And these bikes, they just held up like they've been built. I mean, the R3 is already like a legend in India. The MT-03 is coming around for the first time. And if I had to pick any flaws, there's not really anything I can pick on these motorcycles. I would be nitpicking if I had to pick stuff. So as far as buying the motorcycle goes, falling in love with them goes, it's gonna happen on your first ride if you go and do that. I mean, Thailand, we got lost along the way, made so much quick time on these motorcycles. Never once did they give me any reason to complain. Now, the thing you need to keep in mind is there's going to be probably one change on the motorcycle that comes to India, and that means these bikes, they're riding on Dunlop rubber. That probably won't be coming to India. How much will that change the experience? That remains to be seen when we ride the motorcycle in India. And the most important thing for Yamaha India is going to be where they price the R3 and the MT-03. If they can price it sensibly, they've got a killer on their hands. But if the price with these motorcycles being CBU units is too high, only a lucky few will probably go for them. And for them, it will be that experience where it's about old school motorcycling. It's not running after features. It's just about riding. These two are simply going to cut it for you. But the question remains the price. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now, if you love this kind of content, obviously like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the autoX YouTube channel for more such cool automotive content. And once again, thank you for watching.